Ladies and gentlemen, this is Saeed David Farman, Biomed Expo and Alien event. We are happy to have some of our speakers who are coming to Las Vegas today, this morning, Saturday, on Zoom call to say hi to you guys and explain to you about themselves, their lives, and their research and books and talks and their activities. Also invite you to Las Vegas, September 12, 13, 14, Alien Event and Biomed Expo, Health and Wellness Expo Conference, and also Alien Event Cosmic Command, the active hand of disclosure in the world as we are grouping up in America and the rest of the world to bring a new timelines for humanity in consciousness, health and wellness, and in space and brotherhood, cosmic brotherhood of all races. And this events we are doing, we changing timelines, we changing talks that change destiny of humanity for better. We bring people together to emphasize the existence of light workers and consciousness groups and people who can in other words, a division that is going up in the Hopi prophecy that humanity will split. We are the one who will split and go up to 5D. So in the future and our future lives and our kids in the future lives of ourselves, we will come back and very triumphant, very high level conscious beings as avatars. This is a promise. If you guys keep doing this, you all will be avatars as you are right now. So with that said, our website is biomedexpo.com, biomedexpo.com, or 5devents.com, number 5 letter D events.com. Going 5D, 5devents.com. Also, our alienevent.com is specifically for alien event tickets and speakers, and also that covers Biomed Expo, Conference Expo. So the best ticket to come to this event is alienevent.com. With that said, let's introduce our speakers. I turn the camera on Facebook. Okay. Now, we have our keynote speaker, Mike Bara. Mike Bara, welcome to this event.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me again. It's always great to do your events. They're always enlightening and energetic and full of fun, especially those Saturday night dance parties after the banquet.
Great, yeah.
Don't bring in one of your boring speakers. Let's bring a DJ out and do some dancing like we did.
Will, yeah.
That was the best. So I'd like to invite everybody to come out to the Alien event. I'm focusing on the Alien event side of things, but I'm also fascinated by the Biomed Expo and meeting speakers from that end of things, because as we advance into this next world we're stepping into, you have to remember that the medical and the alien technology, a lot of the medical technology is going to be alien technology. So these things are going to meld together and everybody's going to get happier and healthier, and we're going to live longer lives and more fulfilling lives. I'm an author. I've sold about 100,000 books worldwide. You may have seen me on TV shows like Ancient Aliens and lots of other shows like that. In fact, I'm on all the time, Dave. It just fills my ego with glory. So I appreciate that. When you guys come out, I'm going to be speaking to you about the connection between where this really started. The timeline has been messed up for a long time, but it especially started the day that President Kennedy was assassinated. I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to explain to you who was behind that. Right now, there are hearings going on in Washington, D.C. about UFOs and about the assassinations of Presidents Kennedy and Senator Robert Kennedy. What people don't realize is those things are connected. President Kennedy intimately knew all about the alien presence. I'm going to show you how that connection was made and what he was going to do about it. And what he was going to do about it was disclose back in 1963 that we were not alone in the universe, which would have changed everything, changed humanity's perspective. He was going to go to the moon, not in a race against the Russians, but in unison with the Soviet Union to try to break down the barriers that had separated our two philosophies and our two governments. So we were not rivals, but allies stepping into the future. The deep state stepped in and they put a stop to that through an organization called MJ-12. Right now, there's this push to blame the CIA for Kennedy's assassination. The CIA were just the bagmen. They're just the hitmen. They are not the top of the food chain. We're going to talk about the deep state as it exists, the top of the food chain, and how it still resonates into today. They are still trying to sabotage this, what you call, Dave, new humanity movement, moving towards what I like to call the global sovereignty movement, where every individual is sovereign, every individual is powerful, every individual decides their own future. It's not decided by some nameless, faceless, corporate government axis of evil that wants to dictate to us what humanity is and who we are. We're going to fight that. We're going to stop it. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. I'm also having a panel full of some really excellent speakers. We're going to be talking about what secret space programs are out there, what the evidence is that they really exist, what the technology promises that we're going to steal from them, take back from them, that we have owned since at least 1960. So it's going to be a fascinating, fun weekend, 3 full days. Show up, be there. It will be a blast.
Awesome. And Mike, do you believe some time travelers and jumpers coming in and out of timelines from past and future to change the timelines and events? And do you believe in that, or you don't think it's possible?
Well, I do believe in that. And by the way, folks, you should come to Vegas because there's rumors that one of the elevators in Caesar's Palace is a time machine.
Oh my God.
You can go back to 1967. So I suggest we have a field trip somewhere along the line and go to that elevator in Caesar's Palace and see.
You've been in it?
Oh yeah, it's serious stuff. There's people that really say that happened.
What happened when you went there?
David, I haven't been. Well, if I believe me, David, if I had actually used that time machine, things would be a little different right now. I'd be a little bit richer because I would have picked all the Super Bowl winners for the last, 25 or 30 or 40 years.
Of course, they don't let everybody get in it, right?
Yeah, no. You have to know when. It's a time machine, which is about between 2 and 4 in the morning, which exact elevator it is, and you have to catch somebody coming out of it because they're the only ones who are authorized to tell you how to operate it. So it's pretty funny myth. But anyway.
Right.
Yeah, time travel is possible. It's I don't know how much they can actually interfere with the process, but I do know that is a thing that exists, and it's something we'll be discussing.
I just found out that some time machines, or maybe all of them, you need plutonium to have a time machine, and that's one thing probably they don't want Iranians have plutonium to create timelines and time machines. Yeah. Also. For once you have nuclear plutonium high grade 235, you can create lots of technologies, especially about Meron-Kesh space continuums and all the traveling. Also in medical field and all the sciences changes with the high level. It's not about the bombs and stuff.
Yeah, so, plutonium is not an easy thing to get a hold of. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Nor is it something you want to handle very often.
So I'm not still sure. Can we should ask Eric? Eric, can a time travel machine can be made without plutonium?
I can't really answer that honestly. But let me tell you, mercury is I think red mercury is really the element we should be looking at. Besides element 115.
115, yeah. 115.
Because red mercury is what they put in those balls on top of the buildings, and that's what did the magic for bringing the ether. We should learn about the ether because CIA took these things out of our vocabulary, and they made it illegal to talk about Tartaria, and they made it illegal to talk about flat Earth after 1958.
Exactly, yeah.
So we have to look at the ice wall. The ice wall is. Yeah. We're about to have many disclosures, and they're about to release 6,000 patents of free energy. So we're in this year. This is going to be the best year ever. I mean, everything is changing, and I see it everywhere. I've waited my life for this, and I'm so excited that Mike's coming, and I love his topics, and I love Agatha coming all the way, from around the world,
Yeah,
and we have
Agatha is or here we call her Orina Agatha Fuller, but that's
well, let me
yeah.
tell you,
Let her talk. Agatha, you introduce yourself and tell people
Yeah.
about your event. And
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me here. Before I even introduce myself, which is actually not that important, I have a question for you out there. Why do you ever feel there is this huge pull within yourself that you want to go and see or meet aliens? Why are you so excited about there's an alien disclosure? Why are you looking into the sky and saying, you know what, I feel home and I want to go home? And I'm going to put this whole thing upside down. We have amazing guys out there with a lot of knowledge, but what are you doing with all this knowledge if you can't apply it into your own world, into your own reality? And I'm starting from
answer question, because cosmic brotherhood, they are sending us energy that we telepathically, some of us, we receive. And I had many of them in my life that, hey, we are here, we exist, and these messages and contexts are constantly happening.
Okay, but I'm questioning.
Yes,
but I'm questioning the people out there who are, I'm sure, coming to this Congress because what I'm going to do is with you, this is what my service is to humanity. I'm not going to present myself and I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, I have traveled the world. I have been to tons of pyramids. I have been to amazing ley lines. I have seen aliens. I have real alien footage from Mexico, from my friend who has a private museum. No, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to help you open up your heart, create your own timeline, and realize that all the knowledge which is out there is actually inside of you and that you are your own time machine. Bam. This is what I'm going to do for you out there, and that's it. Drop the mic.
Yeah, when alien is
good for you.
Alien event is not about seeing UFO and a couple of aliens. We talking a major shift in humanity with millions of comings and goings between planets. And
the true alien disclosure is that we are going to realize that we are the true aliens with psychic ability,
we are part of the game,
DNA, which is just dormant. And once we realize who we are, we have potential beyond imagination.
Exactly. We are a mixture of multi-layer of extraterrestrials who they grab from each part of the universe and they brought them to this planet. And we're all mixture. If you look at Japanese, they are from one sector of the universe. They brought them here. That's why they're so different. Or you say Hopi people, they say some of them are Pleiadians, and they land them here to start a new generation of humans and start from 0.0. Or you say any other race or culture. But anyway, I don't want to advertise too much. Josh got to go early. Josh, say hello and what's going on?
All right, divine blessings to everyone. It's good to see everyone.
Yeah, and Joshua Ciesler. And
yeah,
you're an exhibitor for Artifacts of Mexico, also a speaker in Alien. Oh my God, this is real shit.
One of the lead researchers around the artifacts coming out of Ojuelos de Jalisco in Mexico. And what we're starting to understand is there is a type of wireless technology that these stones represent. And it's a form of scalar harmonics. And so I think one of the main reasons we want to inspire people to come to these events is because we're at the lead forefront of back engineering this technology. And I believe that we can actually assimilate this technology the moment we have the information. It's almost like we activate neuroplasticity, where we can activate dormant locations of the brain just by accessing, being around all of the awakened beings that are going to be a part of this event. You get what I'm saying? So just by being around the frequency and the information provided, it will start to activate this technology within us. And this is literally an ancient technology that's been suppressed. What we're doing right now is we're working off of, electromagnetic fields, distorting the scalar harmonic frequency of the bio emission of the sacred energy of our life force. right? So when we work with this type of technology, which is scalar harmonics, and working with diamond frequency technologies, right? The diamond itself is how they back engineered and found the quantum bit. The qubit is actually emitted from diamonds. And we are all carbon life force energy. We are working to assimilate the diamond coherence within our scalar harmonic field. So I believe that this is going to be really important just for people to be around this. I'm going to be doing an 1.5-hour lecture on this technology. I just published my first book around the ancient alien artifacts coming out of Ojuelos de Jalisco. But what's truly important is that these artifacts represent a very sacred technology, scalar harmonics. And so I think that, yeah, just we're happy to share this. It's very sacred information. I believe half of the people who are there are actually channeling this energy in, this information.
Hey, Josh, what do you hear about Boga sphere? What's your idea?
I think it's highly advanced technology. It could possibly be from inner Earth, right? Like we're talking about. I have a really close friend of mine, one of my best friends. I've traveled all over the world with him. His grandmother was actually Admiral Byrd's desk assistant, right? And, you know, so there's a lot of information that's going to start coming out. We know about a lot of Admiral Byrd's, you know, expeditions to Antarctica to try and understand what's truly going on up there, right? They were investigating, you know, New Schwabenland. And you know, I've been, what's that?
I was just going to say, Hans Dietrich is going to be on my panel. We're going to talk about the Boogosphere. So, Joshua, if you maybe want to tag on the end of that, we can have a little debate because I think
bet. Well,
Hans has a different opinion on what it is, and I kind of lean towards his. But it'll be fascinating. So,
definitely.
Let's bring you in, yeah. To that
what else is happening is they're finding the same representation of that technology all over these artifacts coming out from different locations, like these artifacts from Ojuelos de Jalisco. Full mosaic spheres have come out with highly advanced phosphorescent glowing technology. It's almost like at the ends of the circuit of the microchip, there's a phosphorescent crystal inlaid representing, you know, highly advanced photonic energy. But this symbol seems to be, it's almost like we're merging dimensions. And when we get into the level of quantum coherence, it's almost like we have the capabilities of, you know, bending our dimension, right? It's literally, it starts to get to an interesting topic of what's possible when we get into the realms of, you know, quantum information holography and how in a sense, we're experiencing a holographic simulation. And when we get to a certain level of fully being able to back engineer and understand how this full holographic simulation is being created, the pineal gland itself is a quantum inverter. And we take all of you know, the information coming in over like 120 billion synaptic responses to allow ourselves to actually create this holographic simulation. It's so highly advanced, but I think we're getting into the point where we're actually shaping our reality with our thoughts. And we're just getting to that point where we're having more control because we're starting to understand this technology.
And I think for over 20, 30 years, we've been studying this alientology, ufology. You know, we had rods and many spheres in the past. This is nothing new, that they're monitoring the planet, and the sphere has fiber in it, fiber links in the spheres they found under microscope that is sending information and picking up all the audio, video, whatever is sending. The wirelessly is sending the information of the planet to somewhere else. So they are observing this planet, whichever group or brothers there are in the universe, for good and bad. I mean, this planet is under watch by many races out there, and they know what we're doing. Everything is happening, and they're very, very worried about the future of this planet. That's why they started more showing up, and especially about nukes and taking over some groups over the other ones. 186 nations, they want to kill each other. Recently in Thailand, the most peaceful country in the world, we had fights with Cambodia and Pakistan and India, and they're attacking each other. All the wars and killings in the planet and mass starvations and baby killings, all this stuff is the notion that humanity is in the verge of splitting. One group would really get fucked.
Yeah, they believe it's a bifurcation, right? It's a shifting of timelines. There's two different directions that we can go.
Yeah, exactly.
What we want to focus on is obviously the positivity, the outcome. Everything has been a focus on trying to control humanity's consciousness, right? The same way that they wanted to create almost like Project Looking Glass, where they back engineered the human pineal gland to give an overall outcome of the collective consciousness of humanity at that point in time. So this is what it's about. It's about controlling our fears, our emotions, right? The same way that they're using, 60 flickers per second through our holographic screens to manipulate our emotional response. There's certain ways that they can add in subliminal messages that will bypass the amygdala the frontal vortex to reach the amygdala. So this is important information. I think this is why everyone should come and be a part of this, because we're here openly sharing the information that we're channeling in to raise the consciousness and give humanity our power back. And that's what this is truly about. And one more last thing before I have to go, but I wanted to say that if anyone does actually come to our sacred event, we're going to be teaching very important information. And I'll be sharing this mudra along the way, but this was gifted to me by sacred beings. And this is how you access Agartha. So I believe that there's certain mudras that we get initiated into as well. And this is important stuff, so divine light to you, David, for doing the work that you're doing.
I love you. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. And you're a great source of information and artifacts, and everybody will be coming to see your artifacts and listen to you. Thank you, Joshua. Yeah. Let's go to Ryan Veli, our chief military officer in Canada, who's coming to this event. And Ryan, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, David. Hi, all of the rest of you. Such a wonderful group and so many interesting things already said. I'd love to retort and talk about a lot of those details because we've touched on some really important things that are happening for humans.
Save it for the show, Ryan. Save it for the event.
Yeah. But what it strikes me as, I see this through the lens of artificial intelligence, and it was through investigation and deep inquiry into many different secrets that I have my, more holistic understanding of what's going on. So people often ask me, how does AI relate to alien technology and healing and all these different subjects? And it's really, they can't be unconnected because you get to a certain point and you realize that the elites and those in power have been dealing with extra dimensionals and non-human intelligences forever. And that's how they get to where they are. And that's kind of the puppet show we're playing in, why there are controllers and why nothing that seems to happen in this world is in the best interest of the people. And why so many of us who have our active Ma'at gene, which is what a couple of you mentioned, which is the awakened part of us that makes us not brainwashable, or at least very difficult to brainwash. And when we get into groups and we share that energy, it actually stimulates others to wake up and others to express that gene more openly. So when we gather as a group like this, incredible things happen. And thank you, David, for putting these events together, because the different people and what I've learned and the connections that I've been able to make and the lovely people that I've met and products that I was able to acquire at these events has been really invaluable. So I'll be talking about some solutions as well, not just artificial intelligence, but also the hope in plasma technology, which is ether-based technology. And this is, kind of the white pill stuff where it's solutions and hope. And I do like to focus on the positive because, like Josh said, we do project our reality, but we can't ignore the dark. In this bifurcation, we have to intentionally separate from this system of oppression and demonic control. And it's in doing that that we'll spawn and birth something much better for the average human being than this kind of gobbledygook system of the elite ruling everybody and cannibalizing whoever they wish on the way up. So I think that is what's going to die in our civilization. And that civilization, hopefully, that we can steer our group towards is a positive, benevolent, pro-human future. But to do that, we have to realize the threats of artificial intelligence. So as I've been speaking about for many years now, artificial intelligence is the real game. That's the technological slave system that they're rolling out that we have to be aware of. And the things I disclose in my talks, people find it hard to believe, but I link everything out but what's going on is really hard to believe, but it's reality nonetheless. So that's what I hope to contribute to the group, and I hope everybody, I know it's not easy financially for everybody to get out there. For me either, I had to open a MyFans or OnlyFans site and you know, expose
Yeah, you're
myself
coming from
to make
Canada.
a few
Wait,
extra
wait.
bucks, you know.
We
So
don't want to see those
I had to do what I had to
pictures.
do to get the money.
Ryan, no.
Mike, I know what your code name is. I know you're one of my OnlyFans buddies, so I know.
No.
Whoa.
No.
Excuse me, it's offending
You guys-
Ryan. You're the best. I love you so much, and I learned a lot from you, and you know about it.
Yes, indeed, Shahrokh, and we've had great interviews, you and I together. So if you haven't seen that already,
Hey, Ryan, can I ask
Yes,
you a
go ahead,
question?
sure,
Can I ask you a question?
of course.
The speed of quantum AI is so rapid that by the time you land to the event, quantum AI 50,000 more intelligent and doing different stuff in 10, 20 days from now. So my question is, there's a theory that quantum AI will mix human DNA with AI and new hybrids, and we'll create multiple fronts of humanity in all different looks and aspects next 10, 20 years, regardless of evil AI, good AI, government, non-government. AI will do it by himself. They can create a subversion of a second humanity on the planet, and they're doing it as we speak.
So
what's
David,
your
100%. I did talk about some of that in my last lecture, AI Frankenstein, in your last event that hasn't yet been posted, or I can't find it, but it was excellent.
Yeah.
And it is to mix the CRISPR technology with transhumanism and the interbody nano network and the manipulation of human gene expression to create new and novel and different human, or not human, but transhuman forms where your imagination is the only limitation. But as many genes as you have are as many genes as can be manipulated and hijacked. So this is the real future we face that is being kind of concealed. And what you said about AI is absolutely true. It's broken all the metrics used to measure it in this last year. It's driven a lot of people who work on it out to hide in their bunkers in the woods because they were so freaked out. So at that point, I kind of changed my course of action, and it's already happened. We have AGI, that's already happened. We're racing towards ASI, artificial superintelligence. And to get that, they need nanotech and graphene in absolutely everything. They want the Internet of Oceans, forests, people, squirrels, crows, you name it. That's what's coming, and that's what they're pushing. So we as a group have to actually stand up against this onslaught and come together as a community to stop these things. But we have to actually participate. We can't just watch this happen without any kind of resistance or objection.
Yeah, and I think at some point quantum AI will take over DARPA governments, Russia, China, everything, and decide what's the best for humanity, take over all the governments and politicians and everything, stop the nukes and change the scenarios, and change the directions of this planet to a different timelines and by itself, and can shut down all the computers, all the, they can do a lot of things. The quantum AI automatically eventually will decide what direction is the best for humanity, and is thinking and deciding every second, a millisecond as we speak. In all the internet they hear, they grab the information, and it all goes to under Atlantic Ocean to big 3-4 quantum AI computers on the water.
I would just like to mention something, since it's a biomedic expo as well, and it's related to health. And so I'm a healer, I'm a seer. I see energies, and I work a lot with light workers and starseeds. So what we do by now, there's a lady, she's amazing. She just disappeared. Her name is Tashira Tachiren, and I want to make it very short because there's one more person who's supposed to introduce himself. I apologize. So this woman is amazing because she gave us some teachings about how we light workers become the upgraded version AI of ourselves, and we're working with the dormant DNA to embrace ourselves. So I would like to talk when I talk for 1 hour, I will introduce people more into that and what you can do about shifting timelines and being your own AI. Yeah, thank you.
That's an interesting fact. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know you do that. I'm glad you
Yes.
talked about it. So who else
need
want to
some
add to
quantum-
this before we go to Shahrokh?
I need some quantum healing on my sciatica. That's for sure. Yeah, Shah, tell us about Atlantis, man. I want to hear all about this.
Yes, last year about this time, I published a book called Shah's Mystic Lines and Areas, and Mr. Saeed David Farman actually found me and then communicated with me, so invited me for the event. And I'm so glad that he did so, because I found a lot of good friends like Ryan, like Mike, yourself, and Joshua. Last in LA, I met you, if you remember.
Yes.
And then I'm so proud that I met Eric, amazing person, and other friends. And now I'm proud that I'm meeting Arena. So Arena, it's good to see you here, but I can't wait to be in your presentation and learn a lot more from you. So
Thank you.
when I was younger, I was known for a healer. I would just had a lot of friends that they said that, hey, Shah, intuitionally you're a healer. Eventually, I stepped into consciousness and tried to learn the energy, all the stuff that I was doing it without knowing what I'm doing. So, and then I studied a lot more about that. And so I had my institute here in Las Vegas, Nevada Awareness Institute, where I was just healing, practicing some chakra, energy healing and cleanings and all the stuff, right? But eventually I also stepped into science because I have a bachelor in solid states physics, and I earned my master's in management information system. I took a lot of certificates about data science and AI and all the stuff. So eventually I put these things together and I started publishing this information that I gathered during time. So, so I'm going to be in the alien event for the third time. And this time I'm going to, again, I'm a keynote speaker. I'm going to be talking about two separate things. One of them is about the, I can say the geometry and the timing about the location of many of these incidents that are happening in our world. For example, the Skinwalker Ranch, this Bridgewater Triangle, the Nevada Triangle, which we are right now in it, and some other locations like Sedona. So why these locations are important and how they're related to each other. I found some geometric relationships between them. And that's going to be my first speech. The other one is about the UFO. In the alignment of these things, I found out that the UFOs are not just randomly appear and disappear in specific, in any area they like. No, same as our pilots that they flight and they have specific routines, they have specific airports. I believe that by the data that I collected, I believe that there are specific locations that these UFOs appear and disappear, which is aligned with the portals, and also the specific time that in those times these things appear. So that's the second speech that I'm going to have, and it's fascinating because it's the new information that's been released. Nobody ever heard that before. Anyways, I'm going to invite all my friends, family, everybody that I know to come to this event. Alien event is amazing. It's one of the unique events I have known. Like I was attending to this event before, but now you see how the life happens, and it dragged me there. Now I'm one of those speakers. So September 12 to 14 here in Las Vegas, there's a hotel called ALEXIS Park Resort. It's in Las Vegas. Three amazing days. It's going to be there. A lot of connections is going to happen. A lot of informations are going to be transformed to each other. So I highly invite everybody, even if it's your first time, to come in and enjoy this event and try to get as much as you can from it.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
Very close to the airport
right
as
now,
well.
Hold on,
very
Marina.
good location.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's very close to the airport. It's a very good location. So easy to find.
And just off the strip is like 2 blocks away. So it's you can go, you hit all the restaurants and hotels and have a great time.
Yeah, and bring your friends. We have a 2-for-1 ticket right now. Go to alienevent.com and ALIENEVENT, alienevent.com, and get your tickets. And if you cannot come to Vegas from overseas or wherever you might be, you're unable to travel, go to our website, alienevent.com. There's a link for a streaming, and there's a browser on the top. It says a streaming page. You click on that, and you can register for a streaming live. So with that said, Shahrokh,
it's free parking. It's free parking.
Free parking. Yeah, in Vegas is a big deal. Definitely.
Yeah.
Shahrokh, did you we were in Sedona a few months ago and having an event, a small event in Sedona. We found out that there is an underground military base with aliens. That was very new for me, and it's a real one. Not only we heard about it, we have other people talking about it that they've been there. So, do you have any information on that, or you want to?
Yeah, the military doesn't just randomly pick up somewhere and just choose that area. For example, we have Area 51 here, and it's right in the southern part of the Nevada Triangle, which many incidents are happening. And do you think that Area 51 is just randomly picked? I don't think so. Science says no. When I'm saying science, it means numbers and facts, okay? And I'm sure that Ryan has a better information about this, but recently I noticed that Sedona, there's multiple military sections over there, and one of the sections is not even announced as a military base. It's now a public place, somewhere important, but it's forbidden for regular people to get close to that area. Very interesting. But one thing I want to add for you, if you're interested in that, is that the locations, the 6 locations of the Sedona, the vortexes, they're not just randomly there. For example, 4 of them are aligned in a distance all the way to Skinwalker Range. And it's very interesting. And if you connect that, you will even reach to this amazing mountain called the Devil's Tower, which what's it called, the famous movie.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes, exactly. That's also talking about. That's a very specific location. It's just not random that suddenly nature just appears there and creates a specific, actually, feature. Anyways, another thing is that, for example, about Sedona, the distance between Sedona to the center of Nevada Triangle is 400 miles, which is the same as the distance to Skinwalker Range. So how come these distances are the same? And I have a lot of these things discovered, and it's in my book.
And Bermuda Triangle. And Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, I have like about, I didn't talk about Bermuda Triangle recently because if I start about that, it's going to be like about 1,000 pages.
Don't you think the Atlantis pyramid, biggest pyramid, is underwater there?
Well, my research did not come up with anything about the pyramid under that, okay? But I came up with a location which is between Europe and California, Canada, over there, and that location is a little bit above where the Titanic sank. And in that location, it looks like geometry shows that that location is specific. It's not just random. So I came up with that, and there are a few islands over there, and very interesting that, yeah, let's keep it up to here for now. I can talk about it later.
Who knows about Area 51 is 14 level down, like Fordo in facility in Iran. And each level is so deep on the ground that you go alien floor to technology floor to research floor and yeah.
Yeah, Area 51, we don't know much about it, but what I know that it's fact is the area, is the location. So very interesting, when you look at the map of the Nevada Triangle, you can see that almost precisely, half of the Area 51 is inside the triangle, half of it is outside. Okay, and it looks like it's been cut exactly from the elongation of the Area 51. And then I found some incidents that happening over there. For example, military airplanes that they disappeared and they crashed, aligned with other incidents that they all create some sort of a geometric shape. It's very interesting. I haven't published it yet, but I hope if I can pull it up together, I can talk about it a little bit more.
I mean, what is really important to know that the UFO sightings are always connected to volcanic activities and also ley lines. And I'm sure that we're going to explore more about this in the Congress, because if we talk about this too much, then, I mean, no one wants to show up. But please come.
Oh, we got
tell them everything,
very
guys.
interesting.
Tell them everything.
Marina, let me surprise you by telling you this, that first of all, the ley lines that they're talking about in 1930, somebody in Europe actually came up with that idea. And after that, they didn't find any specific energy aligned over there. But they tried to come up with sacred geometry that they're supposed to be something over there, that ancient aliens and ancient astronauts or ancient scientists were talking
Well, and
about.
they are building pyramids and obelisks now on Area 51. We can see them on Google Maps and things like that.
No
So,
way,
Very
really?
interesting.
oh yeah. They're incorporating these technologies that they've learned from what they've done over there, and it's great. You can you can actually, if you stay at Mandalay Bay, which is just up from the Alexis Park Resort, you can look right across to the airport. McCarran Airport is right there, and you can see the white airplanes with the red stripes that fly the workers every day to Area 51. It's pretty.
Who
Mike,
can talk
Mike,
about
don't they take an underground metro now from another hotel in town?
They still have the planes. There's still 737s parked on the runway, and they load them up every day, and off they go to Area 51.
Well, Mike,
yeah.
I want to tell you one thing is that's a research section. So for sure, they have some scientists going back and forth, and they invite people from around the world to come over.
Yeah.
And they sign an NDA contract, and they don't want to release information.
Yeah, these are all the stuff.
very
Yeah.
proud of my.
Yeah, I was
these are all-
actually offered a job there once, but they said you can never talk about it, and you'll basically won't have any other life. And I said,
met people.
I live in Vegas.
Yeah.
I have other things to do than go to work every day.
So
I
Ryan,
have friends that they worked over there, but they don't say anything.
guys, Ryan and Eric, and you all you guys, what's the solution when if and when the Earth changes, catch on fire, a lot of things happen suddenly, they're ready to go underground with their bases, and they know who's going there, who's not going. So what the rest of humanity and light work is.
But that is the whole trick, David. The trick is when we learn and when we know how to shift the timelines, we don't have to escape, we don't have to run, and we don't live in fear. We live out of knowing, inner knowing.
Yeah, that's
and
one option. The timeline will take you to
we have an inner knowing, and we create our own reality.
True.
That's one option. Yeah, that some of us would see a need. That's why we don't see Mayans. They change the timelines. About
Exactly.
50 million Mayans.
I just came back from Chiapas, where there was this most beautiful guide, and he explained the difference between the two sides of the Mayans, the ones which did the sacrifices, the old timeline, and the one which went enlightened, and the way how they recognized each other was the way how they were greeting each other. Because when they were greeting each other, they had a certain way how they hold hands, and they created a spiral. They looked in each other's eye and said, I'm you and you are me. So below, so above, so below. And that's, again, it's about we create timelines with our consciousness from the heart. Okay, thank you.
I think regardless of mud floods, Tartarians, they switch the timelines too. We had
100%.
Millions and millions of Tartarians suddenly disappear from the planet, and they were running this planet.
That's
like
why there is a theory and there's a hypothesis that these aliens that we see, the UFOs that we see, are not from outer space. It's a theory. It's not what I'm saying. But these people have been separated from human because a disaster happened and they decided to go under the ground. So all the theory about the hollow earth and these things since then.
I just came up with a hypothesis or talk that some people have, and there is seven earths under the earth, and this thing is huge, and there are 89 what you call it, like earth, like planets outside the ice wall, that they're not allowing us past the ice wall because these civilizations are not ready, or they're not allowed to mix with each other, and we are not matched up by any ways. There are other humans or aliens that they live outside the walls, and they're highly technology and different psychology and spirituality. So meeting an alien doesn't solve issues of humanity has. We need to solve our issues ourselves with our consciousness, and we are developing over eons as layer by layer each humanity, and it's going. Let me let Brad in. So
well, one of the reasons, sorry to interrupt you, one of the reasons that we want to communicate with the aliens is that because their physics is different than ours. They came up with vehicles that it doesn't align with our physics, doesn't fit. Okay, so maybe there's a physics or science that they have biologically or any that they can help us in solving our issues such as cancer.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. Brad Olsen is here, I think, but he cannot join or something. What's going on? Brad, what's going on with you? I don't know. Attendee.
You have to let him in, don't you, Dave?
Yeah, I have to let him in. I'm sorry.
Oh, here comes Brad. He's in space somewhere.
Brad, open your video.
I have. I don't know why it's not doing. Join as a panelist. Yeah.
I think I let you in.
You might have another app that's grabbing the resource, Brad. So close like your other browsers and apps and things like that, just in case.
Oh, David
there you
just
are.
had to let me in.
There you are, Mr. Fuzzer.
Well, guys, okay. Thanks for having me on. I'm going to be talking about my new book on Antarctica and new research that I've had down there. We did that in Sedona, but we'll do it for the Vegas crowd.
It was a great
too,
talk. People loved this
well
Sedona talk. I listened to it, everything. I loved it.
I just got to jump in here, guys, and say the flat Earth is a psyop. It's not real. I went down to Antarctica. There's no such thing as an ice wall. There is an ice shelf, but it's, if we want to talk about inner Earth, there is the possibility for that. If we want to
wait a minute.
under the ice.
In Antarctica, you didn't go
Not
all the way.
flat Earth, though. Mike, help me out here.
Yeah, it is, and the flat Earth thing doesn't really make any sense for about 50,000 different reasons. But look, you have to understand what you're dealing with here, Brad, is that you've got people that they believe if they can prove the flat Earth and that we live in a snow globe, that means that God exists. So you've got a lot of Christians that are very dedicated to this idea that God created this special place for us and there's no space. But again, you look at all the other planets, they're all spherical. There's plenty of evidence that we're spherical. It's spherical. And yeah, I agree with you, Brad. I think it's a psyop to see just how easily they could manipulate people with
Wait.
false
I
information.
bring Eric in. Eric, shoot.
Let's have a flat Earth panel.
I know
It
that's
is
what we should
a
do,
psyop.
Let's
Eric.
do it on Sunday. I
have to agree. I have to agree with both Mike and Brad that it is a psyop, but it is flat. Lasers only go straight. Radars only go straight.
Exactly, yeah.
I tell people don't believe anything I'm
3,000
saying.
pilots.
Go do
All of
your
them
own
testified.
experiment. Use your own head,
Yeah, I
It
talked
is
to
a
10
psyop, all
pilots.
right.
They all see flat. The pilots don't know the plane down.
Let me tell you, listening to everybody to this point, it's so awesome. I was really just grabbed in, and it's so you have to show up to the conference because you get the energy. Looking at Josh's stuff, he's my favorite vendor. Oh my God,
Yeah,
I have a
he's
degree in
awesome.
fine art. All of his artifacts were like, you got to bring a blacklight with you, and he has one, and bring a lot of money to buy people's books and also his artifacts because you can get some actual
We
Mayan
have
artifacts.
PMF machines. We got health vendors that are coming. All the technology they're bringing in.
It is so awesome to show up and meet everybody.
Tesla
in person.
Technologies.
You get their life force energy. You get the energy from the people. I can't explain it. I've enjoyed listening so far, and I'm excited to show up.
We got few big stencil doctors speaking. Dr. Michael Grossman, Dr. Jeffrey Gross, and Dr. Couple other doctors on the website you can see. And Dr. Benton is coming from Los Angeles to heal people. There's a bunch of researchers and speakers in Biomed Expo. Go to Biomed
and I'll be talking about health solutions for animals. I've come across a lot of excellent products that will extend the life of your pet and take away the bumps and cure the cancer and stop the scratching.
Let's advertise. Brad, keep going. I'm sorry I interrupted.
All right. So yeah, we should do a flat Earth panel because let's get all the information out there.
Okay.
But I have information that the CIA started the flat Earth using DARPA. It's a well-known psyops, and so for the mental experiment that it was a success because they have converted millions of people that rely solely on social media for all their knowledge. They have no background in advanced mathematics or astrophysics like Mike does. And they are actually victims, I would say, of a sadistic system that preys on people that are susceptible to fanaticism. And this is in my opinion, a big problem with some of these conferences is that we are falling victim to clearly what is a psyops to get us to argue something that is nonsensical.
We are not contacting Palm Spring or the other one in Los Angeles, Conscious World, and the other one in wherever Florida, and the other one in Kathmandu. We are alien event. We are a different animal. So when we talk at the events, our researchers talk differently. We are right at the point. We don't bullshit and we don't garble too much.
Yeah, Brad, if there is no question, there's no challenge and there's no answer. You cannot find the truth if there's no question. And as Brad said, the CIA brought it up, and doesn't matter who brought it up. Anyways, when there's a question, it creates challenge, it creates a research, it creates a lot of good things. And finally, you can pull out the truth among all the other vogue things. Thank you, Brad.
It's true that the CIA did take it out of all the books in 1959. You can look at any book from 58 and older, and it'll talk flatly about it. Okay, so, and I tell people don't believe anything I'm saying. I just give them
the old maps are all flat there.
Well, Eric, let me add something. In a small eshell, when you just sitting on the ground, you feel that the Earth is flat, and all the science, all the mathematics shows that the Earth is flat. But when you increase the distance and go higher, then you see the laws of flat Earth changes to the laws of a global Earth. And it only happened after we started in 69 something, that we started going up to the sky, and we came up with those actually laws and those geometry.
I think it's really important to also point out we're on a panel right here, highly intelligent people. And we're also, this is still, obviously something that wants to be debated. This topic is highly advanced. And we also can get into, there's a lot of deception, free Masonic, agendas. There's been a lot of, think about this, there's continents that are obviously been hidden from us. There's breakaway civilizations. We don't want to call it a topic of the flat Earth, but we can look at the fact that there's obviously some hidden continents. There's some things that have been hidden on maps. If you look at all old maps, they've been rewritten. I mean, I collect older maps. So I think it's just really important to look at, what facts we have. Older maps are truly advanced. We try and, disregard those and say, we've advanced far beyond that. No, the deception is advanced. But the old maps are very valid. Okay.
Admiral passed away. He told me in my ears that they changed all the books. Completely. They changed all the facts. All the university books are bullshit. All the facts and sciences changed to a false one. So they misdirect humanity to know exactly our history. They break giants' bones. The museum of they destroyed Smithsonian. They destroyed all the giant bones. They arrested our speaker in Italy. What's his name? There was a digging in the street in Sardinia. Sardinia is the land of giants, and Sardinia, they were digging for construction. Suddenly they see all these giant bones right in the middle of the street. So what happens is these researchers jump in there to grab the bones, and suddenly these secret agents show up with their guns on their heads. Leave the fucking bones on the ground. Move away. So this stuff is real, man. You want to see giants? David, go to Sardinia.
Totally. And I'll just mention that in Mexico and a lot of countries, they have rules against digging basements specifically for this reason. And if ever you questioned the reality of a global conspiracy, look no further than what they did with the giant bones and archaeology across the entire planet. When something shows up that doesn't fit with the narrative, it doesn't matter what country you're in. The same crew comes for you and scrubs that history.
You're right.
So if that doesn't show that they're all working together,
Exactly, yeah.
concealing the existence of non-human intelligence, that we're in contact with them, and what our real history was, then I don't know what will. But you touch on any of
You
those
just
third
pointed
rail
a very good
subjects?
thing. You just pointed a good thing. A bunch of flat, what you call it, no arm on their shirts or hats or anything clothing. They land with the helicopters or whatever machines they come in, and
No
they
insignia.
sweep the evidence. You got it. I've
That's
seen
right.
that in many videos. They took off the internet past 20 years.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people disappearing in parks, I'm sure, are going as well, because if you get a little too close to any of these forbidden zones, they'll disappear you. You take some footage
And
that you
the
don't.
idea, what do you think about idea of Egypt in Grand Canyon and finding there's even a pyramid in there. I saw the picture, I was freaking out. And the artifacts of Egyptians they took the pictures, but they don't allow you to go inside. They arrest you. What do you think about that? That changes the whole humanity.
If I could talk on that topic, there is a very sacred mosaic star map at the base of the dam itself. There's a lot of really deep esoteric messages that are encoded within that. And a very close friend of mine, I'm just going to drop this on everyone. It's going to be exciting to come here and get the knowledge that we do have. But a close friend of mine was taught from Seven Thunders, who was a direct bloodline lineage from Chief Sitting Bull. And when I asked him of any information he had about the Egyptian temples in the Grand Canyon, he instantly said that it was taught through oral traditional teachings that when they built the Hoover Dam, it flooded all sites and all access points to those sacred sites. So basically, and then if you look at the Abu Sibyl, the dams in Egypt, right, the Nasser Dam that created the Aswan High, reservoir, that reservoir flooded over 100 sacred sites in Egypt. So who's to say that exact same thing didn't happen when they built the Hoover Dam? There's so much that's been hidden from us, and that's so simple.
And I heard in Dandara, they flooded all the archives under the ground because the Polish group went there. They found the underground with sonar in Dandara, Egypt. And this is about 10 years ago. And they contacted us because we were researchers that time to Zoom live with them. And then the guy was scared to come on Zoom live. I said, what happened? They said they flooded all the archives of humanity under Dandara in Egypt. They don't want to see people see this stuff. They don't want any access or the past of the history of humanity and the extraterrestrials on this planet.
Just if I can add about North America, I just think that a lot of the history was submerged a little deeper. So I think it's like 20 feet below in the mud, but there is a prior civilization. And I know people that were digging in different countries, specifically the capital in Canada, and they found a civilization that shouldn't be there. They found buildings that shouldn't be there when they were doing deep renovations. So this happens and it gets expunged or hidden. But if you dig far deep enough, you find other strata of human civilization, or whatever you want to call it, some form, maybe Cro-Magnon, who knows what form of civilization that was there prior. And the artifacts, there was an interesting cave. I don't know if it's in Illinois or around there, but that was really hushed up. And it showed a lot of Egyptian and likely Hyksos kind of artifacts that I think people should look at. And they called it a hoax. And it's like, the guy had 20 million bucks in gold to waste his time making all these old artifacts. Are you kidding me? It was, I forget the name, but it's called Treasure Cave, I think, in Illinois.
This is Planet of Gold. And the gold is more valuable in the universe for many extraterrestrials. And, and they just found a gold mine in Iran that is so big and so deep, it can change the whole planet Earth with that gold. And there's other gold mines. They're not telling people this stuff.
Okay, we have to have Josh say what that is. Hold on, Josh. Don't go anywhere with that.
This is one of the elongated mosaic skulls from Guerrero in Mexico. But I received this in 2016 on my first expedition down there to research the artifacts coming out of Mexico. Now, this piece is an elongation.
Skull, or is it actually bone?
It's completely mosaic. This thing is hollow. It's terrifying to even hold.
Look at that.
Okay. Now, the teeth are actually some form of bone. And it's got jaguars on the jaw. So I call them jaguars. But it's just unbelievable, the intricate.
Don't move it. Yeah, hold it there. Let me zoom in exactly. How does it? Keep going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can you go full screen on this one, David Sahi?
I'm doing. We are showing you when you speak.
Just go to view speaker.
When you speak, you're going full blast.
Okay, so yeah, as you can see, there's a dancing, jade skeleton that stands on the eye of this skull. But look at how unique it is. You can actually see the temples. There's such levels of detail. This must have been a representation of one of their, gods.
And they're elongated skulls. So
completely elongated.
What part of Mexico was it?
So this was from Guerrero. But while we were researching the artifacts and had a meeting with all of the, government in Ojuelos de Jalisco, they pulled out a skull that had the same artistic signature in their private collection. So this signature is seen throughout different areas and honored through,
Wait a minute. So elongated people, they were not only in Peru, because I went to Peru,
not just in Peru.
And all over South America, and Americas, we had elongated people.
Yes.
And what years do you think the elongated people lived in the planet?
I mean, at least 12,000 to 50,000. When we talk about the Egyptian gods, they say that Thoth had a reign of over 50,000 years.
What makes you think they haven't crossbred, David? What makes you think they're gone? What makes you think they're not the bankers?
Who is the elongated human right now?
Yeah, I think they crossbred in. I think humanity is a mishmash of a lot of different proto-human, Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal, Denisovan.
We'll go in again and we'll show this piece right here, which is a half crossbreeding of the reptilian genetics with almost like what we'd see as almost like a human representation. But you see there's a definite visual.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Alien Event introduction of speakers, some of them for September 12, 13, 14, Las Vegas Alien Event. Please get your tickets, alienevent.com, and come to Las Vegas September 12, 13, 14. If you cannot come to Las Vegas, stream live on our website, alienevent.com, and biomedexpo.com. We have a health and wellness show. I'm sorry, go ahead, Josh. You were saying something.
Oh, that's okay. It was just showing, the hybridization of the human race. We see, the reptilians merging their genetics with almost what would look like a human. So I believe that, there's been crossbreeding of not just reptilian genetics, but we are a highly advanced hybridization of many different races.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's very good.
The human design, they left out certain gaps and codons in the human brain, and crystals hold a certain magnetic frequency that can actually connect those dormant strains of genetics of the brain. And so
that means not only Sumerians changed our DNAs, multiple other extraterrestrials who lived on this planet, or they came and left, they changed our DNAs, and we have multi-layer humanity and multi-layer beings on this planet.
I think that's very possible, because what we try and do even as of now is back engineer everything about consciousness. How does Mother Nature work? How are we experiencing this exact moment? And when you back engineer it, you find that there's an exact moment where light as photonic energy translates into matter. And there's literally a wave collapse as we experience this simulation. So everything about trying to understand how consciousness works, we have to back engineer it. And it has to do with crystalline frequencies, right? And the human biophotonic expression of intelligence as light. Light is one of the few things that can literally go from a wave vibration and collapses into matter, okay? So everything about this is highly advanced, but once we understand it, right, we have the blueprints to articulate our reality.
Josh, I have a question for you.
Yes.
In your beautiful artifacts that you found, is there any sign of gold in any parts of them?
There's more than gold. We have orichalcum. We've actually had the alloy tested, and it is a highly advanced metal alloy. And when you get into basically the atomic structure of an atom of copper compared to an atom of gold, the difference in size is dramatic on the atomic scale. So when you actually have to merge and create an alloy of 9 different metals to create this highly advanced orichalcum gold alloy, they look at that and they're like, well, this is beyond powerful, because this would take almost a highly advanced metallurgist to even get to the level of merging that type of metal to create that advanced alloy.
Yeah,
so
that's
nine
very
different types of metals. Yeah.
The reason I asked you is that gold is one of those rare actually elements that most of the chemicals will not react with it. And even in our body right now that we live, we have like about 0.2 of a milligram gold in our body that is not actually reacting with any other organs, but it's circulating in our blood, and it's actually
Ormus, huh? Ormus.
Monoatomic gold.
Monoatomic gold.
Yes, once you break gold down to a singular atom, it can actually pass through the blood-brain barrier. And this is the technology that they're using when we get into graphene oxides. Mm-hmm. So graphene is literally a singular atomic layer of graphite. But once it enters the body, it becomes graphene oxide. And so it goes from being a highly advanced, carbon-based crystalline intelligence, but then all of a sudden oxidization forms around it, and then it can be a highly manipulated electromagnetic field inverter, so it takes in that type of frequency. It's a way of hijacking our consciousness. This is so well thought out because graphene, the body is familiar with. Okay, so that's how they get it to go inside the body. And then all of a sudden it assimilates within the neural networks passageways of the brain. And that's how they start to try and understand and back engineer every thought that we do have. So, I mean, this is interesting stuff, but it's a way of basically trying to manipulate humanity on the highest level. So,
yeah, another way is that's why in many in ancient sites and even in Egypt, there are some signs that I was studying that they used to even drink gold water or gold, somehow eat gold powder and it's expensive, so they usually give it to the king. And
so
even
that's
if you go to
Starfire
Dubai, there's some hamburgers that they're preparing that there are some gold powders there, and they said that it would not sit in our body, but it will help us in our digestions and things like that. Amazing.
So a lot of crazy stuff going on in this planet, and also we hear Lockheed is behind a lot of projects. They have elevators go to Mars. You can catch them on the planet, and suddenly the elevator takes you somewhere else. Time travelers, time machines. We got DARPA. We got a lot of things. A lot of corporations decide about the technology and future, and quantum AI, and Microsoft, Bill Gates, and all these people who are a higher echelon, and they play with the humanity's consciousness, future, and food chain, and weather changes. The HARP is changing everywhere in the planet, or Russians, they have HARP now, and Chinese also. So the earth changes, and the DNA changes, and food modifications and GMO stuff all together is just, we're going to have a hell of a future, guys. What do you think about it?
It's to keep our frequency low, and they're assaulting us on every front as we actually go to a more photonically charged portion of the galaxy where we should trigger an awakening and positive vibrations. They're trying to poison and lower the vibration of the planet as a whole. So it's from the atmosphere to the biosphere to your body. They're in your body now with graphene and nanotech, like Josh was saying. So the war is now inside your body, and it's for your mind. It's neurocognitive warfare.
Well said, Ryan. Ryan, let me add something about the gold in our body, and that's what is very interesting. I think you're gonna like it, because our gold atomic number is, if I'm not wrong, is 79. But that means that we have 79 protons and 79 electrons. But what is exciting is that it somehow behaves it resonates with ultraviolet, the light ultraviolet, and we have a lot of ultraviolence coming from sun, right? So when you are in front of the sunlight, this light hits you. Gold is very known for its unique behavior with the light. So when light hits it and you have some sort of gold in your body, it resonates, starts resonating, and the cell surface of that responds to the plasma, which is another form of matter that we have in our life. So one of the reasons that gold is important is, besides the price of it and the gold, the color, the yellow color of it, is the behavior that it has in front of the light. And you can see in many of our stories, many of our actually movies and documents, you can see that always people who like to consume gold, they have some sort of a reaction in front of the sun. Recently, I was just watching this movie, this Superman, and he gets the energy from the sun. It's very exciting that even in our comic books, we have that reflected.
Which would explain why they're trying to block it. But I just wanted to mention it's Starfire Gold, and it started, my investigation into it started before 2010, and I tracked down Dr. J.J. Hurtak, who had found the underground tunnels at Giza, and then Hawass claimed finding it, but it was J.J. Hurtak working for the U.S. government, and he had found traces of Starfire Gold under Giza, and they also found a temple in proximity that seemed to be the place where they refine it. So it's very important for people to understand that it's not like powdering normal gold, because that'll have nickel and other alloys in it, and that'll kill you. And they've apparently found mummified pharaohs or whoever that were consuming it wrong and died because of it. And there's the monoatomic form, which is the either, Ormus based or some kind of separation process, whether it's Nazi Bell style technology with red mercury, whatever it is, it turns into a white powder. That's the Starfire Gold. That's the stuff they claim gave them eternal life and all these wonderful things. So have you ever come across it, Brad? I notice you're kind of quiet there. You ever heard of this Starfire Gold? You have any knowledge on that?
Oh yeah, it's monatomic gold. And I was on a panel at Contact in the Desert with Hugh Newman, who's explored the tunnels there with Andrew Collins. And also sitting next to me was Graham Hancock. And we were talking about the Ormus or the monatomic gold. And I brought up that the great Egyptologist, who was Harold Weiss, he found it in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid. So there was some white powder located next to the located right next to the sarcophagus there.
Wait, that powder is from their nostrils coming from pineal gland. Everybody was 3 nights initiated in the sarcophagus.
And
that's
folks,
my research going down.
You can get this white powder in Vegas too, just so everybody knows.
Wait. No, this is serious talk, Ryan. This is Dr. Scott was talking 20 years ago. He passed away. This in research that comes from pineal gland. When you sleep 3 nights in the sarcophagus for ascension and multiple initiation, that comes from your pineal gland to your nostril, comes down like a flow of river. Secretion of pineal gland. Now, I'm sorry, Brad, I crossed your word, but keep going on that. What you saying?
Okay, so Howard Weiss in the 19th century, one of the first British archaeologists to study the inside of the Great Pyramid, because if you guys have been there, you know that they blasted a hole through the Great Pyramid to get into the Grand Gallery and all the internal functions.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so he was one of the first in there and had the foresight to collect this white powder. And for a long time, it just sat in somewhere in the archives in the British Museum until somebody pulled it out only a couple decades ago and did a test on it and found that it was the residue of monatomic gold, of the white gold, of the Ormus. So the pharaohs or whoever was using
there was no pharaohs in pyramid. You know that by now. Pyramids nothing to do with pharaohs.
I didn't say that, David. I said whoever was using the sarcophagus from pharaohs, and they were real people, to even commoners. Who knows who else was in there? But we're excreting the white powder, and that was what was found next to the sarcophagus.
Giza was built. Giza was built 100,000 years ago before pharaohs, by very high level, even before Atlanteans, very high level beings. So after this underground, 600 feet down, you see all these underground miles and construction, you should know about that by now. So sorry, I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just saying
The pharaohs used technology, Saeed.
say it
The
again.
pharaohs used technology. They used it.
Yeah, they
used
use the electrical power of pyramids. You're right.
and it was monatomic gold, and that's what's in the sarcophagus, and that's what gave it its
Oh, you're
special
saying when they
property.
opened it. That was during the Al-Ma'mun Islamic Caliphate in Egypt. They opened the door of the pyramid. That's when
Yeah.
they found a white powder in sarcophagus.
But it's in our urine too. We have gold in our in our piss, and it's monatomic gold.
Apparently initiates in the sarcophagus, they had to take monatomic gold, according to you guys. That's another factor.
And the other thing about the sarcophagus in the Great Pyramid is it was built into the construction of the pyramid because it's too big to get through the entranceway that leads to the king's chamber. So it was always about placing that sarcophagus, although it wasn't a sarcophagus, which is for dead people. It was an initiation chamber.
Initiation, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that also ties
These are all
into
fun
the whole
topics
design.
to come. These are all fun topics to come and hear us at live at, and the best conferences afterwards at the pool. But, come and meet Brad and Mike and everyone,
We
Josh.
got 40
and
speakers. They're not here. So this is just a teaser talk. We invite people to alienevent.com and Alien Event. Go come to Vegas and see us. Have a 3 days of vacation in Vegas and enjoy the show and 40, 50 speakers and a Health Expo and all the stuff we're doing.
This is really important. Let me please add this. To save money, call up Holiday Inn or Hilton and listen to their 2-hour lecture and stay free for 3 days.
No, we're pulling people to our hotel. We have to all party.
I know, but I'm saying if they have a problem, they want to come and they can't afford to stay at the hotel, you can stay free at those hotels at Hilton or
don't advertise Hilton.
I know,
our hotel rate is $119 a night.
I'm advertising our show. If people can't afford to come and stay at the hotel we're showing it at, don't let that stop you.
Stream it live if they can't come to Vegas. They can do that.
Don't let that stop you. I'll make it happen.
Yeah, okay. So our rate is $119 a night for hotel. It's a great rate. 4 people can sleep in a suite, big suites, non-gaming hotel, ALEXIS Park Resort Hotel. So with that said, we got to wrap this. Let's finalize. Last thing you guys want to bring up?
Well, I want to first of all appreciate Farman. You did a great job. You're a genius in this field.
Thank you,
you brought everybody together. It's not easy, and it really needs a lot of effort and talents, which you have. I really appreciate that. And then I'm going to appreciate Brad and Eric and other friends that they're attending and putting time to come here and sharing all this valuable information that they gathered during time in very hard and harsh environment, going to Antarctica, going all around the world, and just bringing it out to the people.
Yeah, we got speakers coming from Scotland, from Mexico, from Europe, from all over
Las Vegas,
from Canada. We got speakers. We got our international disclosure event that people should all come together. A lot of people across the world are noticing us and they're contacting us. They want to know who we are and stuff. And some news agencies and stuff, they're interested in our research. They want to come in and cover the show. We're talking to them. So go to alienevent.com. Go ahead.
Is Martin Liedtke coming from Wales?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is Martin Liedtke coming? Martin,
no, he's not coming. So I didn't invite him. So with that said, we have too many speakers. We cannot bring everybody. No, the idea is we all bring new ideas and wrap the disclosure in a higher level 2.0 that they're not letting public know. So public and professionals, we all coming together to push the timelines to a new humanity and better world for everybody. in health and wellness, technology, consciousness, and disclosure, and you name it. So all these sciences are all coming together to do a better job for humanity. So with that said, I wrap this with show and say thank you everybody for joining us, and love you all, and go to alienevent.com, get your tickets.
Thank you.
Thank you for everybody joining us. Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
everybody.
Take care.
Thanks, David.
Good to see you.
Thank
See you
you.
in a couple
Take
weeks.
care, guys.